please lower your cell phones or pause them. I just want to announce that only delegates and alternates substituting for a delegate can sit in the designated area, which is here, and others, please, will sit over there with the residents. Thank you. So we're calling the meeting to order. Bertha, do we have a quorum? Okay, thank you.
See, that's why these sheets are here. You got it? Okay. I'll talk to you after.
Alan, will you read the approval for the previous minutes?
The minutes of the January Delegate Assembly appear in the Cobrua Reporter. Has anyone found any additions, corrections, or omissions from those printed minutes? Is there any objection to accepting the minutes as published in the Cobrua Reporter? Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, Alan.
Can you hear me? At the last meeting, one of our directors had mentioned the milestone report and that the papers were very redundant. And in follow-up in the Cobrua Reporter, there's comment about that comment. And I would like to say, if I'm going to buy the car, I don't want to just see the tire. And I do want the full report, since we all have to pay for the full report. Yes, we do. Each association pays for the full report for their association. I don't know.
Okay, basically you're going to need to, it is an association issue, and you're going to need to go to your president for that. Good. Well, then go to First Service and speak to them about it. There's still a lot of chattering going on. I would ask you to please stop the chattering. Thank you. Okay, I need a volunteer to act as sergeant at arms while Bertha, because Bertha's on the election committee, so she won't be able to run around the microphone. I need somebody to volunteer to do that. Thank you.
Is she taking it over now?
Yeah, let her do it now. Okay, we're going to go forward with the President's report, and I just want to go over that the planning, zoning, and building department, they gave a presentation on January 27th in our Clubhouse Theater. I hope some of you attended that presentation, because the people that attended, said that it was very good. And the presentation was on building permitting, regulations, contracting regulations, and code enforcement, and code and compliance. The presentation was well received. As I said, this was also given in West Palm Beach. So it was well received by our residents who attended, as well as others. So the opening remarks were given by Maria Sachs, our Palm Beach County Commissioner. She has been very supportive of the program, as well as as well as others. Okay, an election update. M&O committee. I'm calling on Felix. Felix here? Okay. To give a report and take nominations from the floor. And this would be, Cobrua is first.
Good morning. My name is Felix Wadish. I am the representative of the chairperson for the election committee. There'll be an election on March 11th to fill 3 open positions of the M&O committee. The following people have filed their intent to run. In alphabetical order, they are Martin Fish, David Fisher, Mark Hoffman, Lynn Roberts, Stanley Siegel. In order to be eligible to run for a position of the M&O committee members, a candidate at the time of election must be a permanent resident of Century Village West, who is a unit owner of record. A permanent residence is defined as a person who has resided in Century Village West for at least 9 months in the preceding calendar year, and be either a member of the executive board or a director of a constituents member condominium association of Cobrua. Do we have any nomination from the floor for the M&O committee? The nominations are now closed. If a candidate wishes to put a statement in the paper, your deadline is today, February 11th, by 1:30 p.m. In order to satisfy the printing deadlines, your statement must be emailed to Cobrua office either by body of an email or an attachment Word document under 300 words. PDF, all caps, handwritten, or scanned will not be accepted. There's no exceptions. On the day of the election, all candidates may also have a 3-minute statement from the floor ballot before the cast. At this time, I'm the chair of the election committee. There's an election this morning for 3 directors of the Cobrua group, each to serve 2-year term. There are 4 candidates and will each be given 3 minutes to address you before the vote. The candidates in alphabetical orders are Martin Fish, Dave Fisher, Caroline Haynes, and Frida Spiro. I'm asking them all to come up so they will be ready to speak when their turn. Frida Spiro could not be here today but left a message which will be given by Willie Hoffman at the end of the speeches. The first person will be Martin Fish for 3 minutes.
Martin Fish, the president of Rexford. I've served on the board of Rexford since 2022, and I'm now in my 2nd year as president of Rexford. My vice president just reminded me that I should only speak for 3 minutes because I tend to write very lengthy memos. So basically the job of the Cobrua group has been initially to work with the Levy organization in terms of amending the Levy organization's bylaws and governing rules so that we can establish the voting of the acquisition, and that work was largely done when I came in. During the last 2 years, we have begun to address the financial buyout, and I know people are always asking what the ultimate cost will be, but within the next, I suspect, half a year, the final determination on how we will be financing the buyout will be approved. It's a complicated process. Certainly, if I do not win, I've written a very detailed 8-page memo on all the options and possibilities, which I think they will find very helpful. And I think I have the financial wherewithal to contribute to that. The third process that will be going on in the near future is to write the governing rules for how the new organization will be operating. We currently, that will be how we manage it and how the rules that will apply to the clubhouse. So I do have a legal and publishing background, and I think I have the ability to continue contributing that. Thank you very much. Wally, did I speak under 3 minutes? Great, thank you.
Next we have Dave Fisher.
Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Dave Fisher. I attended Brooklyn College, continued my education in dental technology, became a certified dental technician, and owned a dental laboratory here in Boca. I served on the advisory board of Nova University in Davie, Florida, helping in the creation of their dental laboratory program. I am also proud to be a veteran of the United States Armed Forces. But the past is not important now. The future is. My wife and I moved into Century Village in 2009. I am the president and director of Fanshawe, which is the largest association here. A member of the M&O and a delegate of Cobrua. In the past, I was vice president of Fanshawe and your Cobrua sergeant at arms. I have also served on many committees. Because of my involvement in Century Village over the years, I feel my knowledge would be a beneficial asset to the Cobrua Group. Again, my name is Dave Fisher, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Next, Caroline.
Hi, good morning. My name is Carolyn Haynes, and I am a candidate for the Cobra Group Board. I am currently on the Cobra Board, and I want to continue on the board as I believe that our 2028 acquisition of the clubhouse and recreational facilities will be important for the future of Century Village. I was honored to be president of the Cobra Board for one of the 2 years I've been on the board already. I'm asking for your vote so that I can continue to serve on the board for another 2 years. I've lived here for 8 years, and this is my permanent home. The approval of our acquisition in 2028 will be critical to ensuring that Century Village remains a safe and beautiful place for all of us. I also serve as first vice president of the Cobra and as director and secretary of the Exeter Association. For the past 2 years, I've organized a successful celebration for our veterans, as I am proud to be the daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, and friend of veterans. My professional career was in banking and finance, and my educational background includes a master's degree in finance. Outside of Century Village, I serve as treasurer for a genealogical society, and I'm active in my church. I am running to retain a seat on the Cobra Board. I want the opportunity to continue to work on your behalf, and therefore I ask for your support and your vote. Thank you.
And now we'd like to call out for Willie Hoffman. He will be representing Frida Spiro.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read prepared remarks from Frida. I, Frida Spiro, would be honored to be considered for membership in the Cobra Group. I currently serve as Vice President and Director of the Yarmouth Association and as Security Director and Head of the Welcoming Committee at Congregation Torah here in Century Village. Through these roles, I've developed a variety of skills that I believe would be valuable to the group. Prior to my retirement, I spent over 40 years as a senior executive at a major New York bank, overseeing the development of key financial applications. I was responsible for planning budgets, forecasting, staff decisions, and advising senior management on strategic initiatives. I have experience managing budgets exceeding $400 million, negotiating contracts with legal and accounting teams, and ensuring the bank's interests were protected. My skills in planning and executing complex projects will contribute to the financial success of the Century Village Association. I respectfully request consideration for inclusion in the Cobra Group. My commitment to Century Village community, combined with these leadership and business experiences I bring, would be valuable to the group. On a personal note, I am married with 3 children and blessed with many grandchildren. I'm an avid walker and swimmer and visit the gym at least 4 times a week. Thank you for your consideration. Okay, I'll amend that. I guess when she wrote this, she was vice president. She's now been elected as president of the Yarmouth Association. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you. You can now mark your ballots since we listened to all 3 candidates. However, if you vote for more than 3 candidates, your ballot will be disqualified and your vote will not count. Members of the election committee will be passing through to collect the ballots. The committee then will leave and count the ballots outside of this location. Okay.
Yes, good, thank you. Thank you. Anybody got you? Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
How about us?
Okay, anybody else here have their ballots?
There are alternates here that did not get a ballot. We're going to check your record right now. Go to Grouchitz and she'll check your ballots. Fold them, only 3.
Anybody have ballots here? Hold it. Hold it, Charlie.
You got it. Don't scream at me.
Okay, wait, anybody else here?
There's more down there, so.
Okay. What do we have on this one? Okay. Okay, I'm collecting them here. Thank you. You got it here? Okay, thank you. Fold it in here.
Please fold it. All right, once we collect all our ballots, please raise your hand if you would not collect your ballots. We're coming around.
I'm coming to the back, I'm coming here. Thank you. Thank you. Got you here? Thank you.
All right, Charlie, we will be leaving the room. We have a designated area at the in one of the office, and we'll come back with the results. Thank you.
Okay, anybody that didn't? Any ballots here? Are you all done? Who else? Ballots. Collecting for the poor. Collecting for the poor. I guess we're all done. Tons of money in here, guys. Lots of money.
Judy Murthon.
Judy?
Judy, you're coming up.
Okay. Are we done? Everybody put in it out? Charlie, I did my work.
I'll send you a check. Okay, we're going to continue the meeting until the count is made, and we'll go from there. Okay, the next is going to be the treasurer's report, and Ted is going to do the treasurer's report as Lynn is not here today. Okay?
Month-ending balance, checking $16,240, CD $29,800, $46,000. Last month, checking was $19,000, and CD was $28,000, for a total of $48,000.
Is that it, Ted?
Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, Carolyn, you're going to go over.
Hi, good morning. My role today is to explain to the delegates action that you will take in the next few months for Century Village. We have many committees, and one of them is the Bylaws Committee. These 5 people have been studying the bylaws for many months now, and they have agreed on a change to one of our bylaws. At that point, they notified the executive board that a review and decision is needed. The executive board consists of the following members: all current elected officers of Cobrua, all past presidents of Cobrua, all current association presidents. I serve as chair of the executive committee by nature of being the first vice president of Cobrua. The bylaws committee has then made a recommendation to the executive board. If the executive board approves an amendment proposal, we then recommend it to the delegates, and the delegates ultimately vote yes or no. So the bylaws committee has in fact, after many meetings on their own where they've studied the bylaws, they met on January 9th of 2025, and they voted on an amendment proposal. This amendment refers to Article 4, Section 1, called Meetings of the Delegates. The current bylaw says, and I quote, "The delegates shall meet the second Tuesday of every month to be held at such time and place as the delegates may designate." The Bylaws Committee proposed an amendment to the Executive Board on February 3rd, 2025. After discussion of the Executive Board, the first proposal failed with the following votes. 3 members said yes, 12 members said no, 1 person was absent. So since that failed, a second proposal was put forward. After discussion of that proposal, the count was passed to a vote of 12 said yes, 3 said no, and 1 was absent. So the proposed amendment was approved by the Executive Board on February 3rd, 2025, and will be printed in the March Cobrua Reporter in compliance with our Article 12, Section 2. It will also be printed in the April Cobrua Reporter. The proposed amendment is as follows. The delegates shall meet the second Tuesday of every month. However, the delegates may vote at the May meeting to eliminate up to 3 monthly named meetings. The meetings are to be held at such time and place as the delegates may designate. So this officially constitutes your first notice of the proposed amendment. Because this is your first notice, there will be no discussion today. But you will read it in the March and April Cobrua Reporters so that you can study it as you need to. But this will come up again at each of our next few meetings, and we ultimately expect a vote on this amendment from the delegates, 'on May 13th at the latest. With that information, I want to thank the bylaws for their good work and for doing your due diligence. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, the M&O Committee report from Stanley.
Good morning, everyone. The committee met with management on January 15th, and here are some of the highlights of the meeting. While the clubhouse was under renovations in the front, redoing where the bus lanes were and so forth, the ceramics room and card room in the rear were used as the bus depot, and it was exposed to heat and humidity. So we're in the process, and we're just about completed dehumidifying those rooms, and they will be back in action for those committees and for the clients. Next year's budget will include a review of the lobby furniture. Bleachers at the pickleball courts on New England Drive were replaced by benches. Bicycle lanes still under review, no final decision has been made. Just to repeat on the movies, starting in April, 2 showings will be made on Sunday and 1 on Thursday evening. The Sunday performances will have closed caption if available. To date, 148 decals have been sold under the Friends and Family program. No aides have come forward to purchase any decals as of yet. A request for additional benches near the Wilderton area will be reviewed and taken care of. Music at the clubhouse comes from the Comcast Music channels. Management makes the decision as to what selections are to be made. There were some problems with party rooms accommodations. Right now it's temporary what we're putting together. If a group takes over the party room, the new, let's put it this way, the area in the rear will be used as an alternate for small groups to have either a meal or a function of their own. But the group that takes over has priority. We still have to refine the program to see what the minor amount of people contemplate using the party room for themselves. Hopefully we'll resolve this by next month's meeting, or the meeting that we'll have in a couple of weeks. Any questions regarding the report? Thank you.
Okay, Stanley Community Affairs?
Actually, there's nothing new on community affairs. G&L Homes has opened up a few homes. Traffic's starting to pick up, and instead of improving, it'll probably get worse. But let's hope the heads of state of the commission will be smart enough to see what they can do to alleviate the problem of the heavy traffic. So right now, that's our only hope. We are still pushing to see if on Palmetto Park we can get an exit to the turnpike. So hopefully that will resolve some of the problems and alleviate the traffic coming into our area.
That is, Stan?
Excuse me?
That's it for your report? Okay. Comcast, Stanley, do you have anything for Comcast?
No, not really.
No? Okay. Is Regina here?
Yes.
Do you have anything for Hotwire at all, Regina?
No, just all problems still must be directed to the Century Village office right here. The number is 561-208-3326. Hotwire will handle all the incoming calls. If the office is busy, the call will automatically go to the main office downtown in Hollywood. Any questions on Hotwire?
Regina, I have a question.
Okay.
We have two televisions. on one television, constantly we're getting the picture freezing or it says loading video. Have you had any complaints about that?
I have 2 complaints about that in Guilford C. To my knowledge, it's always either the second TV, only one TV constantly doing that. And the office is aware of that fact and they're sending the head tech out to Guilford C today. That's their 3rd time out there, so they haven't been able to source that glitch. At first they thought it was an HDMI cable, then the new Eero box, but right now I'm still awaiting a report today, and I'll email you as soon as they give us some positivity on sourcing that problem.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Chairman of the elevator, do you want an update on that, Charlie?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, the cylinder program is winding down right now at the Guilford Association. The last of the buildings in Guilford is underway. So far, so good. Thursday, they will finish working. Friday at 1 p.m., the state will inspect. Preston, you are due to begin your project on this Monday. Even though it's President's Day, I believe First Service is closed, but Tri-State is working. I verified that with Tri-State yesterday. So come Monday, Charlie, we're going to ask you to be aware that whatever building they tell you they'll begin with, to have some kind of staging area close by. I know the 3 stories are different than the 4 stories, but Rich from Tri-State is looking over your property every evening. When they finish Guilford, they're going over there to look at different ways and the best way to get you underway come Monday morning. As soon as they make a decision on basically where to put the equipment come Monday, they'll let me know, and I will let First Service and you, Charlie, know for Preston's sake. But so far, so good. Guilford has no ongoing issues. The ongoing issue that was related to Exeter, they are addressing right now with the new piston. Any questions?
We still only have the 1 crew working?
Yes, right now. And as a matter of fact, there were 3 different crews working throughout Florida for Tri-State, and I learned yesterday that 2 of those are down, really ill with the flu. The man that was working in Guilford C last week is in the hospital right now with the flu. So I'm very happy that our 2 workers here are on target for you come Monday. If the flow of teams increases, we will send out a robo and we'll let you know immediately. But
Okay.
right now, 1 elevator a week for right now.
Okay. Well, I could assume that First Service is going to post all the buildings and do
Yes.
robocalls.
Yes, we notified Leah, and First Service and Alexis are all on board with posting your buildings. We're just waiting to find out which building will be first. And they will send out cones and help you mark off the parking spots as long as the board notifies them which cars are in the spots to ask the people to please vacate come Sunday evening. Okay?
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Looks like there's a question there.
Good morning, friends. My name is Alvin. I'm with Financial. Regina, thank you for your service and the updates. I appreciate it. I have one question regarding the piston. What do we have as a warranty on the material and as well as manpower? Do you have an answer on that?
Yeah. Before I would speak as to what I know, I asked them to send in writing from the contract the complete warranty and the guarantee on workmanship. But as far as Tri-State is concerned, they think these will be good for the next 40 years. If something goes awry, yes, they will fix it. In writing from the contract from the manufacturer, not Tri-State, is the verbiage I asked for, so I can really tell everybody exactly what it said.
Do we have
Pending.
one on manpower?
Same. Same.
Okay. Any other questions for Regina? Okay, thank you, Regina.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
As you can see, the votes have been counted, so let's see what.
The vote has been counted. The following people will be nominated, have been in. Caroline Haynes, 37 votes. Frida Spiro, 32 votes. David Fisher, 31 votes. Martin Fish, 28. So the three candidates, three people going in, is David Fisher, Caroline Haynes, and Frida Spiro. We've been validated, and I'll give it to them.
Thank you very much. Okay, Milt, you're going to do a report on the Management Search Committee.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Milton Fishberger. I'm currently the president of the Cornwall Association. Last week, there was a very interesting meeting that took place here in the clubhouse amongst many of the presidents in this room and or their representatives to discuss the issue of the Management Search Committee and who they preferred. I say it's interesting because there was a very heavy discussions on which associations, or again, I refer to the representatives, wanted to go with the two remaining, actually there were three companies that were remaining, and I mentioned those names before. It was First Service, it was Castle, and Campbell. At this point, there is a preference to split. There were approximately 6 associations, which again, what I'm saying right now is subject to change, but there were 5 or 6 associations that have elected to leave First Service and to go with Castle. There were some associations that were not sure which way to go, and the rest of the associations preferred to stay with First Service. Because of that issue, and I wish there was a good news to say that all of the 16 associations were going to go with one company, but because of that issue of a split, there will be, I have asked and sent a letter to Castle and to First Service to revise their proposals, which is due back to us, close of business on Friday. There will be another meeting called amongst the people. I will send out that information to the different presidents. There will be another meeting called to discuss that again, and we'll see where that's going to go. If there are, I had mentioned during the course of the meeting that if in fact some associations wanted to meet personally with Castle and First Service, just to let me know. There are some associations who would like to do that. In other words, for my own, I can only speak for my association right now, but I would like to have both of the leading candidate companies come to an association meeting and bring their positives to that association for the directors, because ultimately it's the directors, not the presidents, who in fact will vote to go which committee that they want to go to. So again, not everybody has slated or indicated to me that they would like to do that, but if there are presidents in this room who would like to have both of those companies come to one of their board meetings, please let me know. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, Sid, you're going to do a report on the Cobra group.
Good morning. There's really nothing new to report, but in case you missed it, the director's minutes from our December meeting were published in the current Cobrua Reporter. And also at our last meeting, there was some question about the finances of Cobra. And I explained that our fiscal year is April 1 to March 31st. And we did put in, you can see it in the current Cobrua Reporter, the financial statements for year ended March 31st, 24. When the fiscal year ends, we will again publish for the current year. I think it also was asked that we present at these monthly meetings our monthly or quarterly financial statements, or give an idea of what our finances are, the same as Cobrua does. So Mona Lloyd is our treasurer, and I've asked her to be prepared, which I think she is, to give you the current status of our finances.
Good morning, everyone. As just a minute of background, everybody should realize that as of mid-22, each unit here, 5,712, has been contributing to our fund for buyout. So where are we now? Currently, we have a checking account balance at Chase Bank. It has $57,659.05. We have 3 CDs that we've opened. We have one CD for a little over $51,000 that will mature in July of 25. We have a CD again at Chase for $25,000 that will mature in April of 25. We have a third CD that we just opened for $20,000 that will mature in January of 26. So that gives us a total amount of funds, $154,337.13. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. I would just add to that all 16 associations are all currently up to date and all paid in, full members, and that is the status of our finances. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Jody, you have the security report?
Good morning, my name is Jody with United Security, and I'm here to present the monthly report for January. For miles patrol, we had 4,950. Pre-authorized calls, 7,868. For contractors, we had 773. For elevator rescue, we're going to do a comparison from last month to this month. For December, we had 6, and for January, we had 8. Auto accidents, December, we had 5. January, we had 3. For welfare checks, December, we had 14. January, we had 6. For fire, December we had 2, January we had 1. For IDs confiscated, December we had 65. That was 28 for the clubhouse, 37 for the gates. And for January we had 76, with 34 for the clubhouse and 42 for the gates. Any questions?
Wait for the mic.
Jody, Mona, just a quick question. The auto accidents frighten me greatly. Can you give any indication, have you seen any serious injuries? I know I saw one near Cornwall a few days ago, and it looked very serious. Have you had any major injuries, and have you thought about any way to try to reduce them?
We haven't had any major injuries, thank goodness. We're just asking residents to slow down, residents and guests to slow down. This community does have a speed limit, and going 40 and 50 does not help when we have residents who are using walkers that's trying to cross the street and things of that sort. So we're just asking everyone to just slow down.
And Jody, I would just ask, the speed limit in the associations is 10 miles an hour, correct?
Correct.
And I think that has to be somehow reinforced and reinforced and reinforced, because it's not being followed.
We'll look into that, thank you.
Hi, we had a problem in Yarmouth.
What is your name, please?
I'm sorry, Sharon Klein, VP of Yarmouth. We had a 20-foot camper come into our association, and I'm speaking on behalf of me and a couple other directors. Has the front gate been notified that they're not allowed to come in anymore?
Yes, they were. I came to Yarmouth on Saturday and spoke with one of the directors as well.
Good morning, Jody. Fred Hadley, Cornwall Beach. A meeting or two ago, I brought up the fact about e-bicycles and e-scooters misusing the pedestrian/bicycle path, and you indicated that they are not entitled any motorized vehicle. But I'm still seeing more of them, including kids, I guess, visiting on stand-up scooters that are electrically powered. Is there any plan? I know this is a management decision, not yours, but are you aware of any plan of posting signs along the pedestrian path that restricts it just to people-powered vehicles and pedestrians?
I will speak with Ms. Millington to find out what procedures she'll take, and this is the first I've heard about this happening again, so if you do see it, just report it to us so we can come out and try to find out where they live, speak with whoever lives at the unit as well. Okay?
Well, that's great, but of course, by the time you make that call, they're gone. So.
Even if it's a description, because the rovers do patrol all associations, if they park it in the parking area, we'll be able to narrow it down that way.
Okay, thank you, Jody.
You're welcome.
PJ Carswell, Preston.
This is just for delegates?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, security, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just see a lot of people come in, and especially where I live, people come in as guests. We don't know whether they're a guest or not, and sometimes the cars stay for an inordinate amount of time. So is there nothing that distinguishes a guest from an owner? I mean, we have the thing on our car, but do you not give guests anything?
No, once they're called in or added to the list, they have access to the village.
So they can stay here for weeks at a time. That's what's been happening. So.
I mean, if your kids or whoever comes to visit you, you're giving them access. No, it's just an example. You're giving them access to be here. If they're parking in someone's parking spot or that they're not supposed to park in, that's a different thing. But for them to visit, we can check based on the license plate as well. but, I mean, guests have access to the village.
Yeah,
once
it's
they're
just
called
some
in.
people come and they, I don't know, it seems like they're guests and they're living in these units, visiting people, and they don't have a sticker. So if you're staying and you're visiting, you should have some sort of something to let us know that you're there and you're allowed to be there, right? It's a little disconcerting, you know.
I would definitely tell you to speak with your association first service, to see what they can do, because we don't know how long your guests are coming in for. We just know they come in.
Raisa from Venture. You are getting a lot of complaints, right? But I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for very good job. Because 4 times somebody used my phone number to sneak to Century Village. And 4 times your guards called me and asked my permission. So I really appreciate the good job, and I look forward to say more things for you.
Thank you.
Bob Dennis for Yarmouth. Quick question. If someone is illegally parked in your spot, and I've had that happen before, I then call the guards, they come, and then they say there's nothing we can do. So what can you do if someone is in your spots and they shouldn't be?
We do a parking violation. That's as much as we can do per association. Security's not allowed to tow. We only do parking violations. If we know who the person is and where they're visiting, we will call the resident or knock on the door and ask them to move.
Is there a way of just checking by license plates to contact the person?
If they're not a resident, no.
Larry Krakauer, Exeter. As a follow-up, what can be done about delivery trucks and construction people who block your spot or park in your spot when there were guest spots available for them to park in?
I mean, give security a call. We'll come out and ask them to move their vehicle. But you guys have to let us know that that's happening. All right.
John Garrison, 80 Fanshawe. I think there's a safety issue at the intersection of Century Village Boulevard and Fanshawe Drive. There is a bus lane that is not used that parallels Fanshawe Drive, runs south from the intersection of Century Village Boulevard and Fanshawe Drive. And because it's not used by the bus, people get comfortable walking in that bus lane, but it does present a problem when you crossing the intersection where you have an extra intersection to cross. You cross the road, the Fanshawe Drive, which goes both ways, then there's the bus lane, then there's the sidewalk, right? People come off of Century Village Boulevard either traveling east or west, and they turn left into that bus lane. And pedestrians don't expect them to do so because it's a bus lane, but it's not marked adequately as a bus lane, right? And it's often people who are not familiar with this development inadvertently turning and heading south on that bus lane. Again, this bus lane is not used. This bus lane is not used. On the south end of this bus lane, it only runs for maybe 2 blocks, between Dorset and Fanshawe. On the south end of this bus lane, painted on the cement, is bus lane only. You only see that if you come from the south and travel north and inadvertently drive on that bus lane. We need the same demarcation on the north end of that bus lane. It needs to be painted on the cement just as it is on the south lane. So when people are turning off Century Village Boulevard, either traveling east or west, they don't inadvertently turn into that bus lane because it's properly marked.
I'll bring that up to administration.
Okay, sir? What I would recommend is that you fill out this complaint form at the end of the meeting, and then we'll turn it in to Sen West, and they'll go over it and they'll contact you.
Any other questions?
Have that here.
Security? Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Is there any old business? Okay, is there any new business? Okay. Okay, good and welfare for delegates. Just for delegates. Nothing?
Over here.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether this is appropriate or not, but wasn't there supposed to be an exit for the new housing group down here on 441? Because there's a complete wall across there with no exit area. That could take part of the traffic off of Lyons Road.
Stanley, is there any thoughts on that?
There's supposed to be an entranceway on 441 for the GL homes. Entrance only for owners.
It has a complete wall there with no exit.
There's a break in the wall.
It's not going to be a water feature. It's just going to be an entrance. I mean, an exit. I think it's only an exit.
Just one person at a time, please.
Can we find out what it's supposed to be and what it is? Would that be possible?
We'll find out, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other good and welfare for delegates? Okay, good and welfare for residents? I know.
Good morning again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And just, this is 2
Fred Hadley.
minutes. We're only allowed 2 minutes.
Fred Hadley, Cornwall E.
Fred, did you hear what I said?
2 minutes, yes, sir.
I just want to make
Starting
sure.
now. I'm a little bit of an authority on the GL homes. I've studied the proposals that were put before the commission. Originally, they wanted 3 vehicular entrances, but the one on 95th Avenue near the library is strictly pedestrian. The community didn't want traffic coming up 95th Avenue. However, there's supposed to be 2 vehicular entrances. The one that is currently open on Lyons Road, that we call that the Lyons Road entrance, that's open. And I suspect, I don't know when, but they still haven't completed construction on more than half of the property. They've only developed the eastern half on Lyons Road. Approximately 50% of the units are up. I suspect when they get closer to completion, they will open up. They're not going to want to service 2 gates at this time when it leads you into a construction area. So that's the story with that. My other question goes to the chair of the Management Search Committee. I requested of that committee person copies of the bids, and he was gracious enough to give me those copies, a portion of which I had posted online in my newsletter, the Village Century. My question is, these are now association records. They've all been turned over to the individual associations. Under the law, they are considered records of the association. Is there any chance that we could get the full bids posted on the portals? Because I have space limitations and file sizes and so on that I don't think First Service has. So they rightfully belong on the portal. There are a lot of people that don't get my newsletter that should have access to all the bids, especially now that you're going to be making presentations. You said at the association meetings, and at those meetings, unit owners will be in attendance. So I would think that you'd want those unit owners to be informed. So again, will you please get those full bids on all 16 association portals? Can we have an answer on that?
We'll take a look at that, Fred.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next.
Yeah, Larry Krakow, Exeter C. I want to know what's the latest status on painting the front of the building?
Stanley?
Still being taken under advisement. The committee has to review it with management. No decision has been made yet.
Hi, Mark Fennick, Lincoln C. Is there any consideration for a residents-only entrance and exit on Gatehouse into Yamato?
Stanley, do you have any thoughts on that?
The answer is no.
Here you go.
Irvin Barnett, Mansfield. I was wondering why the stands by the pickleball courts were removed, and also when benches are put in, whether they're in that location or anywhere else, will they have back supports for us old people?
Stanley?
We'll take it up at the next meeting to see if any accommodations can be made.
What was the reason for the stands being taken down?
They were causing problems, so it was easier to get in benches to make it safer.
Raisa Fenshaw, I already raised this question for a long time. From June 2024, the lights on the road between Exeter and Guilford don't work, 2 of them. I already feel a complaint. I called, I spoke with Caroline, she called me, and I was promised that somebody is sending email to Powerline, and nothing changed. It's very dangerous part of the road. They had car accident, and besides, people cannot walk at night because it's really, really dark and very uncomfortable to go home. If you go, for example, for movie or performance in clubhouse, it's not comfortable to come home. It's really dark there.
Okay,
So,
ma'am, I'm going to stop you there. Now, this is really a Send West issue that you're talking about. So basically, what you could do is after the meeting, you could fill out one of the forms and we'll...
I already did.
You already
I
did?
filled the form. I
You did.
already contacted with the people. Nobody is doing nothing. I don't want ball games, west or east or whoever. We need it done. And I want to know the time frame because I got only promises but no results.
Okay, well, what we could do is submit it as like a second request. So I said...
And how many requests? Do you have any limitations how many requests it could be?
Okay, thank you. Next.
Hi, Catherine Pellicane. I live in Cornwall, but it's a general comment. This clubhouse is gorgeous from the outside. It's got charm. It's got character. It's distinctive. Why would you want to paint that brick that now only will have to be repainted, whatever color anybody chooses? So it's a current expense that will become a recurrent expense, and you're going to lose all of the character of this beautiful building. So I don't know if anybody's asked the community if we want it painted or what color we want it painted, but from my personal opinion, A, Don't waste your money doing something you're gonna have to do again. Use that money for something that's more of a necessity than just beautification. That's number one. Number two, a group of us have been participating in bocce at night. There's only one little bocce court behind this building, and it takes 8 people to play bocce, 4 on each side. Can we repurpose one of the shuffleboard courts to bring another bocce court like you did with the pickleboard and tennis? And that's all I have to say.
Okay, well, thank you. We can look into that.
Preston E. One question. Can you fix the bingo machine or buy a new one? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people. My bingo machine is breaking down. Even though I don't win, but
You're already a winner.
I know I got a good wife. But they fix the bingo machine. A lot of people coming in.
Well, we'll talk about that.
I know, you'll consider it.
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah.
And the other thing is, paint does not stick to brick. Go to New York, you're from New York, you know it. You paint the building, it peels off. That's it.
Thank you, Junior. Yeah.
Okay, Mona Lloyd from Dorset. Now, I just want to address, as a resident, not as a member of the M&O committee, but as a resident, you guys need to understand what you think is brick in the front of this building is not brick. It's a fake facade. It's not brick. So all of your concerns about spoiling the brick and the color of the paint and all that will be decided by the committee, but it's not brick. Okay, so it either has to have one of two things done on a regular basis. It can be painted, or it needs to be sealed. So we keep going round and round. I just want to make sure everybody understands it's not brick. It's fake brick. Okay, it's a facade. It's fake brick. The fake brick either has to be sealed, or it has to have some kind of a sealant, whether it's paint or clear seal, whatever. But comment of the day, it's fake brick.
Thank you, Mona. You made your point. Huh? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Is there a second to his motion? Carried, adjourned. For the members of the Cobrua board, remember we have a small organizational meeting, room F in just a few minutes.